Hello, and welcome to session 5 of Against the Shadow, a campaign set in Middle Earth. Last time we played, our intrepid adventurers here went into a mine where they discovered a great number of human slaves, much more than they thought, working hard, being worked by the orcs, mining for iron. Within they found their companion, Nar, who they had thought lost. He had been stabbed by a Morgul blade, and they sent him with one of their ranger allies out into the woods to find some kingsfoil, some athalas, which supposedly can slow the effects of these Morgul blades. They kept going deeper and deeper into the mines, where they found a huge room filled with hundreds of slaves, a troll, and an orc chieftain. And as they were fighting these, a Black Numenorean wreath and shadow appeared behind them and began to lay waste, and the thing is, they suffered quite badly at his hands. Syrian received a stabbing from a Morgul blade, and he received a stabbing from Morgul blade, and now he is slowly wasting away. Faroth was brought low by constant attacks by this creature, and Beragond is up on the next floor, seemingly unaware of what is happening, and that's where we left it last time. So it's up to you guys.
I would like to crawl towards Faroth, and just breathing heavily, like Faroth, brother. Your foe lays defeated. The line of Anarian holds strong. It is not your time, and neither mine. Rise to carry on your legacy. And then he just like slumps to the ground because he's so useless right now.
Your inspiration.
Mechanically, have you done anything to actually give me any health back? Or?
I have disadvantage. I was going to cry to Syrian to like heal you because I've disadvantage on everything, and I don't want to kill you.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to go first? Okay. Yeah. In that case, I will heal the ranger first, and then perhaps he can help me with the Morgul wound. Okay, so 2d8 improvement. Okay, what's my wisdom mod again? Gain 13 HP back.
13, excellent, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I think Faroth sort of shudders awake, taking a really rasping first breath. And he sort of blinks and he looks up at you, Syrian, and he says, I saw nothing but darkness. The foul creature, where is he?
I do not know anymore. It was all so much, and I was a coward. But that thing was so big, and it was so confined. Hopefully you'll never see the darkness again, my friend.
Syrian, do not confuse cunning for cowardice. You did the right thing. You were able to help us. Thank you.
Can I reach out towards Elwyn, who is conscious and not got shot, and like for her to steady me and pull me to the feet? So I have like one arm around her, and you see like across my gut like those tendrils of black starting to stretch across from through my slashed armor.
Yeah, she's distraught. I mean, everyone is to some extent, but she just doesn't know how to act in this situation. She did not expect this. Orcs is one thing, but this is something else entirely.
Cynric is still badly wounded. I know some knowledge of the Shadow Blades and the breath of Mordor.
You've done well to get me this far, Syrian. Perhaps we need something more. An elf? Do you know of anything that can, as an antidote to these foul weapons?
I've heard the Atlas plan can help, but only slow it.
We sent the rangers with Nar to find that, didn't we?
Yes.
I hope they bring back more. I can feel it. I don't think I have long. We're not safe. And neither are they. I kind of gesture weakly over the edge. The hundreds of people looking up at us. We need Beregond.
Looking up at the ceiling, you see a slim figure starting to make his way down one of the chains.
You can see a number of the slaves have like picked up rocks and are going over to the unconscious orcs and just like smashing them, or like choking them with chains or whatever they can do. And they're like, many of them are looking to you like, get us out of here.
Beregond hurries down the chain and, seeing them rising up, moves swiftly. Says, "My healing is next to useless, but my blade is good." And I go around finishing off the orcs efficiently and with a deadly efficiency.
I'm going to begin searching and seeing if I can find like the lead orc. He was up with us. Is he dead, or is he still alive?
He's unconscious. Yeah.
Okay, so I will search him and find him and secure him in case we need to try to get any information from him.
No problem. Yeah, he has a set of keys on him. He's wearing Nara's chainmail, and he's got his mattock as well.
Now, to double check the chains, the way they secured, there's not really locks on them, right? They were like.
It looks like in this room there are, but
okay.
in the hallways they were just like literally attached to the walls. But here it looks like they're chained.
Okay, then I guess once I find the keys and I've got them secured, I will run down and start freeing people.
As you're doing that, I'm going to head towards Cyneric now that the easy healing is out of the way. I'm going to make Cyneric a bit more comfortable since I know we haven't got that long here, but I simply take him by the hand and say, as I'm getting out my medicines and my kit with the other one, I will not leave your side until you are well.
I think I will be the one leaving yours.
And I get to work.
I think whilst we're obviously securing the area, freeing the slaves, and obviously Syrian is helping Cyneric, Faroth sort of slowly draws himself up to his feet and he says, if we can get some of the rangers down here, perhaps they can help us with this work so we can leave sooner. And with a glance back up, basically, Lloyd, I'm thinking that Faroth might go back to the surface to see if he can get some help from the rangers to maybe help him dispatch. They can dispatch the rest of the orcs who are now unconscious, perhaps free the slaves, whilst we focus on basically saving our friends. So I think Faroth is going to retreat back to the surface.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I mean, you're not stopped anywhere along the way. You've cleared the way so far, and you can make your way back to the dawn, which is just appearing as you come out of the cave.
And I think leaning heavily on the side of the cave, still obviously exhausted, battered, still slightly bleeding. He's gonna. I mean, I'm guessing you can't see any of the rangers. They're not going to be around, are they?
No, well, the ones that came with you, Elwen is inside, and then the other two had left. One had gone with those 30 people, and one had gone with Nar.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man.
Maybe as you go by, you could ask everyone if they have a horn or a signal or something.
Yeah, that's probably the best approach. Yeah.
Yeah, they would use like whistles and stuff, like
Okay.
bird calls and the like to communicate because it's quiet, and horns, as you well know, draw the attention of the
Not the horns.
orcs.
Fucking horns. Okay, yeah. So Faroth, I'm guessing he'd be quite versed in this kind of thing, being a ranger himself. So he stands at the mouth of the cave, looking at the beautiful dawn, which is a stark contrast to the horror within the cave, and he goes, and sort of waits to hear if there's a return call.
Yeah, it's like an ancient technique, and it carries through the woods a lot further than you would have thought. You could give me a, let's see, your choice of lore or lore or persuasion, one of those two.
Oh, okay. I will take. They're both the same. Okay. Okay, in total, that's a 14.
Okay. Nothing happens for now.
Okay, that's fine. I think Faroth is going to just keep the position for a little bit, and if nothing happens, he's going to come back. But yeah, that's me for now.
All right. While you're up here, do you want to go check in the horses or bring them to the cave?
Yes, actually, yes, that's a really good idea. Thank you for holding my hand. Yeah, I'm gonna. Faroth is gonna go and check the horses, and he's gonna see about now. Obviously, with the sunlight, they're not so much to fear from the orcs. So he's gonna try and bring the horses to the mouth of the cave.
No problem. Yeah, you can move through the woods, and to your delight and surprise, the horses are fine and not dead. And you find them happy, and they kind of look up and snort as you approach.
Yeah, I approach, and I think I'd actually go ahead and approach Ciaro first, not having had much interaction with him, though the horse probably recognizes Faroth. They're pretty smart warrior horses. So just going to reach out a hand, go over this to him, and it's okay. And as he sort of Ciaro out, he says, "Your master is in dire need. You need to act bravely today, Ciaro." And with Ciara at the front, he's going to lead the horses back to the cave.
No problem.
Syrian, can you give me any more time? Or we may need to move. At this point, I can barely move. I'm at half speed, and probably unless assisted.
Okay, so I administer quite a strong powder that you have to inhale, and essentially just numbs the pain temporarily and puts you into a little bit of a daze. And then as that kind of takes effect and you start sort of sighing with relief, I'm gonna quite vigorously roll up the bundle, get everything done for you in order to be moved.
By this time, Beragond is back and waiting round, seeing if he can help.
There is a enormous black, exquisitely crafted greatsword on the ground. Beragond, a treasure. Although definitely one of shadow. It's exquisitely made.
Waiting round, waiting round, seeing if he can help, with his eyes being constantly drawn towards this sword, and just going through his brain. Now, the Black Numenoreans. They could that be Soul Stealer? Could that be? And he's just basically going through his head. The pirate kings of Umbar made a longsword called Black Dragon. That was the most feared thing on the coast. And he's just reciting over and over all the legends he's heard. Call me if you need me. I just need to check something, and I'm gonna satisfy. I'm just gonna drool over it for a bit.
Has Callis come back yet, Dennis?
Yeah, I imagine once I freed a few, I would pass the keys on to one of them to have them start doing that so that I could return to the group.
You can see like many of them, upon seeing an elf and their freedom, just begin to like break down into tears of like joy. Like they never thought this day would come, particularly not like one of the fair folk to come here and save them. And they're just like, many of them are like grabbing at you or like trying to hug you and stuff.
Yeah, I'll as I'm freeing the first few to do that, I'll take a minute and acknowledge them, give them pats on the shoulders and some encouragement, and then I will try to break away and stop myself from being mobbed.
Callus, do you think your king, that he would want something like that as proof? And I nod towards the despicably evil thing. Or would our claims be enough?
Let us take it. I do not want it to fall into the hands of orcs, Black Numenoreans, or the servants of Mordor. Better we leave it with the elves, or with someone who can perhaps resist its powers, maybe break it. Though it would be a shame to. And then he shuts down on that.
Is there the helmet there as well?
There is a helmet there, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be daring to touch any of them, but I'm looking at them closely, looking at the engravings, the markings.
Yeah, the engravings are in black speech, and there's a sort of strange whisper that you can probably hear the longer you look at it, all this strange sort of whispering happening as you kind of are drawn further and further in.
To get a better look at the helmet, I pick it up with an arrow, but I don't touch it with my skin, but I'm sort of examining it suspended on an arrow.
Yeah, it actually looks quite delicate. It's almost a crown with like a wreath of thorns and a white gem here at the center. Beautiful craftsmanship, but definitely fell in this design.
I'm not an expert in shadow lore, but just as a sort of, I'm not an expert in shadow lore, but I know Syrian, son of Eridan, has knowledge far beyond me. But just as a quick glance, do I think it would fit me?
As the thought enters your head, it seems to change ever so slightly its dimensions. You think it probably would.
There's a thought, but I hand it over reluctantly to Syrian, saying, I have read my knowledge on these things. 80% of my knowledge of these things are from books you've written yourself, and you know more than me. Here,
you're too kind. I have not written that many books in my life, but I've read many.
Yes, but I've read 80% of one of your books.
That's a slight difference in the way you phrased it.
I've never been very good with numbers.
As Baragon leans over to give this helmet to Syrian, I grab him like by the front of his clothes and just pull him closer. Stop playing with your toys. My life is in the balance.
And you hear Baragon, his life is in the balance. It can't be saved.
His life will be saved, but you, Cyneric, you let me do what I'm good at doing.
He is the worst kind of patient, but you can do whatever you want. Like, I imagine like that. I don't know. His armor is partially like popped off from the side or something, whatever he's wearing, and you've like got down to skin level. It's just from being mauled by that warg and gut shot by that arrow, and now this Morgul blade. It's just a patchwork of scars, and it's terrible. I mean, you've seen it all before, but it is awful to anyone who looks upon it.
Cyneric, I say, taking your hand and my sort of face close to yours. I have seen you have fought beside me and fought in front of me in combat. and you're a true warrior, and we will see you saved. You will not fall to the shadow. And I grip his hand and look him in the eye.
Probably these dark, sunken eyes, getting darker by the moment, stare back at you, because he's already been heavily touched by the shadow at this point. Get me my horse. We need to ride.
I'll look around for some kind of stretcher or something something I can make it into a stretcher to help him out, and then tie him to the saddle.
Definitely.
Yes, he needs support.
You guys would have, like, I guess, javelins and whatever. You could, like, take sticks or even, like, pickaxes and stuff and make a stretcher if you want to.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, something along those lines.
I'll
Do they have
do that then.
any like carts for transporting the ore and stuff they're mining?
No, the system they have is like they put them in crates and then they put them on top of those lifts.
Got you. Okay.
And once I've got him on a stretcher, I'll start taking him out towards the entrance. Come, you need to see the light on your face. The darkness down here is not doing you any good. The light of the sun is better than this. But, sorry, I'm speaking out of turn, Syrian. I am speaking with a sort of peasant superstition of healing, not with a true knowledge.
No, you're not. There is a lot of depth to the spirituality behind the light of the sun and the attraction that it has with us as men and elves and dwarfs. Well, maybe not dwarfs, come to think of it, but most of us, we have an attraction to the light, and even the best medicine in the world can sometimes be pathetic compared to the power of the sun. We must get him out there.
What are you guys doing with the blade and the helmet?
I've handed them towards Syrian.
Well, Syrian would be interested to look at it, but after Cynric is cured, that's why he hasn't really taken much interest in it yet. He's a little bit torn, actually.
I'll take off my cloak, wind them up in the cloak, and sort of carry them without touching them, hopefully, and then drag Cynric out into the sunlight.
Okay, sounds good to me. So you bundle up these dark artifacts and you get Syrian onto a stretcher. Cynric, keep doing that. And you're able to move your way back through the cave, and eventually you see the welcoming light of day. And there you'll find Faroth with the horses, looking shaken and exhausted, but nonetheless alive.
Good, you brought him. I sent a call through the forest, hopefully to summon the rangers to our aid. They should be able to finish our work here. How is he?
He's still here.
I apologize. I speak out of turn, Cynric. How are you feeling?
I don't think it could be worse.
Oh, believe me, it could be worse. I have given him some medicine to slow the pain, make him feel a bit more at ease, but it's only temporary.
We have very little time. And just out of curiosity, you guys picked up the artifacts of the Black Numenorean. Are they on show or are they wrapped up?
They're wrapped up now.
Up, aren't they? Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Lloyd, has there been any reply to my whistling?
Oh yes, there would have been. You probably would have waited for a good 10 minutes thinking this is a waste, but then eventually you just hear like coming across really shrill sort of in the distance, that sort of and you know that they have acknowledged it basically, and that they're sending people.
But that's just telling them to come here. Obviously, I can't give them detailed instructions via whistle. No. So now, really, and I look to my companions and I say, the Rangers are on their way, but I mean, the orcs, they have fallen into a restless, dark slumber. How long they'll remain that way, I do not know. We either wait for the Rangers and obviously instruct them what to do, or hope they understand.
The orcs in the main
Why I've summoned
mining.
them here.
The orcs in the main mining chamber, at least, have fallen into an eternal slumber.
Ah,
I say.
okay. Then, in that case, hopefully, perhaps, Syrian, do you have parchment and a quill, perhaps?
Of course I do.
Syrian,
Excellent.
what is to be done with Cynric?
I can only
chance?
administer so
What
much
are
of
his
my
chances?
medicine to him. He needs Athelas and quick.
Athelas.
Yes. Kingsfoil.
If we get him Athelas, can you heal him?
I have never healed anyone of a Morgul wound before. I could certainly try, but it will be long and hard. And I will need aid.
I think, and no disrespect to your abilities, Syrian, but admittedly there's a first time for everything, but like you say, we will need help.
No offense taken.
While they debate my health, like I imagine looking at each other, there's me like trying to climb to my feet in the background and trying to get onto Ciaro.
Just like grunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Faroth quickly turns and sort of like helps him like get a leg up or whatever, and sort of pats Ciaro and turns and says, "We cannot linger here any longer. We need to start riding now. We have any hope." Syrian, would you perhaps scroll a quick message on some parchment and put it by the side of the cave? Hopefully the Rangers will be able to see it and understand what's happened. Oh, and mention that I'm borrowing their horse.
Okay, I will speak in riddles to them so the stupid orcs won't be able to work out what we said.
Very wise. Very wise.
Good idea. Inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Is that one girl still with us? It was part of the Rangers?
Yeah. Elwyn, yeah, she's still with
Yeah. So Callus will nod his head to her and say, would she know how to leave word for them?
you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Syrian. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, she would be with you.
Syrian may have said no offense taken to Faroth's doubts of his medical ability, but Beragon seems to have taken offense to the Northlanders' words, who doesn't see any who doesn't seem to see any value in Gondor, and he's always speaking better things that are going on up north. He's just sort of giving black looks towards Faroth.
I think Faroth will take note of it, but he won't address it right now.
If Syrian believes he can heal, there's no one better in Gondor to heal this person. I trust Syrian's judgment on this, I say.
Beragon, your flattery is very honourable, but I am more of a historian than a healer. There is only so much I could do alone, and in times like this, I would rather someone more proficient than me deal with Cynric. He has been wounded too much already.
And having had the sort of legs swept from under him in this argument, he sort of chews the air a bit and then gives up.
The voice, though, from the ether, seemingly Beragon, says, "The Ranger. He does not believe in Gondor." He's a wild man with no allegiance.
This voice speaks the truth. He speaks the truth.
Sin like leans forward to Sierra and is like petting her, and he's like whispers in her ear, I would have you kick them all and be done with it. Take too long and too many words. And can I like weakly beckon Elwyn to my side?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know where this SLS is?
I can find it.
I'll be dead before they finish talking.
I'll go. And she just like sprints off into the woods, limping, obviously, but moving as quick as she can.
I presume that I have like, because I've spent some time with them, I can communicate with them, or at least have an attempt that I can do that whistle stuff, basically.
Right.
I'm not just sending her out into the wilderness alone. And I kick her into a very slow trot. Sierra out into the sunshine.
You will live yet, Cynric.
I'm trying. We need to find some of this king's foil, whatever you speak of, or the elves. I would not die in some orcish mine.
Well, I sent your friend and his escort to an area that I had seen it. If it is to seek it out, we should go there and perhaps find your friend as well.
Then we shall. Can you take us there?
Callus nods.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. I guess you mount up and you start moving.
Yep,
I do.
Yeah, definitely.
definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So you begin to move, and as you're kind of perhaps maybe 15 minutes underway, you can see Elwyn coming back towards you with a fistful of this weed in her hand, and she runs up like to you, Cynric. She's like, "Here!" She just holds it out to you, and she's obviously not thinking. She just like hands you this big bunch of like weed. Here, and then she kind of shakes her head, and she turns to Syrian and says, "Here, I don't know what to do with it."
I kind of look a bit startled by this. It seems you all want me to take a look at this thing.
You have an elf to help you. It might give me more time.
If it will slow the process, it may give us a chance to get to people that will know how to deal with this properly and stop it. Right now, we just need to delay it. I believe some of the rangers told me that you have to chew it and put it into the wound, but
That's
I'm no
right.
healer myself.
My life has already been in your hands several times. Let it be one more.
I give him just a little smile, barely noticeable. But yes, I start putting the FLS in my mouth, start chewing it. Quickly take it out, open the wound a little bit, and put it in.
It hurts a lot. The wound is just like so sensitive, and even like maybe everything within 5 inches of it is just like agonizing. But there's almost like a sizzle when the atlas goes in, and I think let's have you make a con save.
Is saves at disadvantage with how exhausted I am, or is it just doing everything?
I'm not sure exactly.
What level are you at?
Level 3. So
Yep, saves are at disadvantage.
Yeah, it saves it's at 3, isn't it?
wicked.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And check the sheet. Luckily, I have Constitution proficiency. That's a 12 with disadvantage, which isn't
That's
too
not terrible.
shabby.
But I think it's still enough to make you briefly pass out from the pain.
Yeah, probably.
You just like slump forward in the horse. But the application of Atlas with Syrian's skills and knowledge of the weapons of the enemy will give you 2 days extra. It was supposed to be 1, but Syrian has this special ability weapons of the enemy, so he knows a little bit about Morgul with a little bit more than most. So it'll give you 2 days for each application rather than 1.
Very well.
Then there is hope.
12 days till death.
One thing to address before we ride. What of Nar? We can try and spend time searching for him to bring him with us, but...
I think we should leave this to the Rangers. I think we need to get... Nar did also sacrifice his life and risk his life for us. Maybe...
Elwyn, did you see your companion? Did you see Nar?
She says, I briefly saw some tracks where I found the Ethelis, and there had been some recently harvested. They must be close, and she's just kind of like babbling.
We cannot leave him a second time. If there's a chance we can find him quickly, then I believe we should take it.
I'm unconscious. Well, I didn't say that. I just realised I should be unconscious, so...
Farah, you can make a survival check to try and track him.
Fairly well, yes, definitely. Oh, yes, that is. Well, that's an 18 on the die. Let me just quickly look at my sheet. Survival, so 23.
Nice. Yeah. So you can come to this little little area. There's like a fallen tree, sort of a log that's been hollowed out. And in the shadow of that log, there's like a bunch of Ethelis there. Most of it gone now. But you can see tracks and you're able to follow them. And if you were to do so, which I assume you do,
I do, yes.
You can move for just a little while, maybe 10 or so minutes, until you come to a little stream, and there you'll find the ranger. Like he's like kneeling on the ground, and he's kind of like rubbing his hand through his hair, kind of shaking his head as Nar is like lying on the ground with. He can see this Ethelis in his wound, but he looks pale and shivering. He sees you approach, and he says, "I don't know what to do."
We have a plan. It may stretch us to desperation, but we have a plan. We are going to ride with our company, hopefully to find the help of the elves.
The elves?
It's the only way. The only way. Our friend.
These elves are Mirkwood. Hundreds of miles.
Our friend is able to buy our Ceneric time enough to perhaps make it across Middle Earth to find help. It is the only way, but we couldn't leave. We couldn't leave Nar again to a fate worse than death this time. I shall take him. We've left word for you and your men at the front of the mouth of the cave. Inside you will find many, many slaves who we've now liberated, and many orcs now in a deep, eternal slumber. They will not oppose you. I suggest you strike on that advantage quickly. But now, and Farah sort of stoops and he sort of lifts Nar's arm over his shoulder and sort of hoists him, or he's going to try anyway. He's not in his armor, is he?
No.
No, that's all right then. With that, he's going to basically give a nod and then say, "Oh, and I'm borrowing your horse. Thank you."
He grips you in like a handshake and he says, "I wish you all the luck in the world, and we'll see it done with the mine. Right swiftly."
Farroth says, like the wind, and he gives him a nod and brings Nar back to the rest of the company.
Callus will look to the orc prisoner and say, "Are we taking this one with us, or should we leave him with the Rangers?"
Yeah, so Callus has taken Berzalog, who was the blue-skinned orc who was running the mine. He has him out with you.
Well, I'm heading back, so I don't have a say in this.
I'm also unconscious, so I don't have a say.
Oh my god, you guys. I'm out.
Kill him.
Yes, kill him.
Oh.
Is killing him really necessary?
You are stronger. Kill him.
We barely took him before.
I will bow to you in this, he says, but he seems to be distracted by a voice in his ear.
Would I be able to do piercing sight on Berigund?
Ooh.
Having noticed that he is a little distracted by something.
You can certainly try. I think he makes a save or something, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you make a wisdom save, Berigund.
You've got a good chance. So, what do you want to know?
Even though
Okay.
that's a failure, you don't see anything. Everything seems normal.
Oh, really? Okay.
You probably assume that he's just like distracted from the chaos, but there's no taint or anything like that that you can sense.
Right. Okay.
The orc will betray you. He must die.
The orc's just extra weight. We don't need him. We need to travel. And the only good orc is a dead orc.
But it knows things. It could help us with our travel. It's all very well traveling quickly if you know where to go.
You know things, but I think you are reading. Everybody sees other people in their own lights. You're knowledgeable, but look at this orc. He looks as moronic as young Wilf on the farm.
I know some things, Berigund, and also I am no cartographer or guide. I don't know this place.
This northerner, do you think his plan has merit?
That was not a word that came into my head. The Northerners' ways are quite different from our own. But for now, I will trust him.
Do you think we should take him to the elves to travel all that distance?
It is a tough decision.
He was struck by the blade, and yet is not harmed. Why? At this stage, Farath, you would return, and Cynric, you would come to consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah. So, dragging Nar basically to one of the other horses, I look to Berigond and simply say, "Help me get him saddled. We're going to have to bind him as we have Cynric."
When you approach, Callus looks to you and says, "We are discussing what to do with the orc. This one," and he'll nod to Berigond, says to kill him. What say you?
I look to Cynric, who is sort of blinking in and out of consciousness, and I say, "Brother, friend," and I rest a hand on his shoulder, looking up on him on Ciara, and I say, "The orc. I do not feel that there's much we can learn from him."
It probably takes a minute, blinking as you say. He used to run that place. And this place has been a thorn in the Rangers' side. I think leave them to the Rangers and they might have their ways, their methods. But I don't think
true.
there's anything of value for us.
And they certainly have more time than we. Farrell strides over to this blue orc. And he looks down at him. Is he unconscious, Lloyd?
Yeah, he's unconscious.
Far
less threatening now. He's actually quite a small orc. Like he fits in Nara's armor. He's like little. He's like a ratty sort of weaselly features. He doesn't seem the usual kind of orc leader, which you would assume would be like big and burly.
Yeah, clearly got to that position perhaps through cunning rather than brute strength. I look at him and I snarl. He isn't fit to wear that armor. And Farrell begins just ripping the dwarven armor off the orc, first of all, and piling it at the mouth of the cave. Hopefully the rangers will be able to retrieve it. And then he goes back and he's gonna look to the elf, clearly dexterous and has nimble fingers, and he says, "My friend, do you believe that there's any way that you can ensure he remains restrained until help arrives?"
I will keep watch over him, and if it should come to it, I will see him slain before it becomes a problem for us.
You would remain with him?
Can you not give him to the Rangers? And like there's two of them with us.
Well, yeah, that was my other suggestion, that perhaps we could leave him with the Rangers to find any use for him.
Arvalag, who's the guy who was with Nara, speaks up and he says, we can question this thing, this filth. You might have information. It seems to give no purpose to you carrying him with you. The speed is what you need.
Sorry, I misunderstood that he was there.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, very well then. We have lingered here too long. And with that, Farrell is going to hoist himself up into the saddle.
Not a problem. So you're going to leave the orc here. I guess you're taking Nara's chainmail with you in one of your packs or something.
Sure.
And yeah, the ranger will kind of drag the orc by the leg, like through all these like bushes and stuff. Definitely looks painful, but the orc remains unconscious. What route would you like to take to get to Mirkwood?
Oh God. Let me find a map.
The quickest and easiest route with least
Yeah, I would
danger.
think perhaps I would have some insight on what would be the quickest way. And I would say if, time is your biggest concern, then...
Yeah, it's really up for debate. You're basically just southeast of Caer Andros, which is like the island on the Anduin. So from there, you can either like follow the river north through Emmenwheel and the Dead Marshes and the Brownlands, and be on the right side of the river when you get to Mirkwood. You could try and cross somewhere, either Caer Andros or go back to Osgiliath and try and cross there and go up the less dangerous side. Or you could try and maybe acquire a boat and row your way up the river. However, the Falls of Raros, the Argonath, is there, so you'll have to like get out of the river with the boat, carry it uphill, and then get back into the river later on. Those are the three options that I can think of. If you have any other ideas,
I think the advantage of having Cynric on Ciaro, I think that we must trust in his steed. I think rowing upstream will be folly. I think we'll be obviously fighting the current. It will slow us down.
I certainly am much more comfortable with a horse than I am on the boat. I just sent you guys a map, so
nice.
Yeah, I've been checking it out, and I think.
yeah.
Do any of you have sailing skill of any kind?
No.
I don't think there is a sailing
No.
skill in this
Oh, okay.
game.
You don't have like vehicles, sea or anything?
I don't think any of the backgrounds or anything come with that.
Right, okay. I would think that people from Gondor probably have a general idea of how to sail, because it's a big tradition in Gondor, but I'm not sure how experienced you would be.
I didn't see anything mentioned about that.
Okay.
No, I don't have anything down, but
So Sirin says he knows the lands of Ithilien and north to Emin Mule very well. It's not good terrain, but it's terrain that I've navigated before. And then I know Rohan like the back of my hand, through East Emmet and the Wold, all the way up to Fangorn and the Limelight River, the Limelight. I don't know what kind of crossings are across these rivers, if any, but
the two undeeps along the river. There's two kind of big wines in the Anduin. Those are like natural fords where you could cross.
okay.
You would know that.
The brown lands are not my speciality, but and again is not good country. But it is the most direct path.
It is the most direct path. It is a vast portion of our journey of those lands you wouldn't know. We would be able to consult with you. I think that would probably be the best course of action and the swiftest.
And well, yeah, we have a elf for the woodland realm. So as soon as we can see trees, perhaps he can take over.
Like one of the things that's like really not a big concern for you guys, which would be for anyone else, is getting through Mirkwood, because that's like the most dangerous part of this journey by far. Mirkwood is so dangerous, incredibly thick, magical, just so dangerous. But with an elf of Mirkwood, you think your chances there are probably better than anywhere else on the journey. But yeah, it's really up to you guys which route you want to take.
I say follow Cineric's known lands. Will be granted some advantage by doing that.
So cross the river somewhere?
Yeah.
We can either cross the river and go through the homelands, and it'd probably be much quicker, but then we would have to cross the Limelight and back over the Anduin later, or somewhere around there, or we could go like a completely non-river route through rough lands, but I know some of. So it's...
Let's not forget the details of this journey might change. We don't know if we're going to run into anything. So shall we, and forgive me, but shall we cross that bridge when we come to it?
Yes.
So your initial step, are you going to go back towards Gilead to cross? Are you going to go up? Because you're quite far, you're basically near the top of the forest of Ithilien at this stage. So you could continue up this way to the Dead Marshes, or you could try and cross at Caer Andros. You'd have to go back a little bit, cross at Caer Andros, but you don't know what state that fort is in.
It's true, we never checked it out.
I'd rather not go all the way back to Osgiliath.
not back to Osgiliath. Caer Andros or north.
I agree.
So if we cross at Caer Andros, I know Anorian and all those lands all the way up. It just involves more river crossings. Or we go north.
Yeah.
Through rougher, eviler terrain.
Yeah.
The other thing is that we have done work here, good work. They may want to hear about it, and this journey would vastly delay that news. They might be able to make gains in the short term, knowing that we've weakened the shadow over the river.
I think the Rangers will be able to relay that news, I feel.
Okay.
And we'll probably be swifter about it than us anyway.
Sure. So to Caer Andros first, see how affordable it is.
To Caer Andros.
Caer Andros.
Okay. So it's dawn now. If you travel all day, you'll be able to get to Caer Andros. You don't want to rest before you go.
The mechanical benefits of resting would be nice, but I'm on a clock.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'd say yes, let's rest, because I could definitely do with a rest. But should we say an hour's rest, just to give us a bit of a boost and then go?
I
Or
suppose if we short rested, I could actually have more than 8 health. That would help if we ran.
I think I think we should press on and take a rest when the horses need to rest.
We're only a few hours from the Amon Hen, or Henath, or what? Were we not?
Henathanan, yeah.
Henathanan, what was it?
Okay then, let's stop there.
Agreed. We'll risk it.
No problem. Okay, so you guys begin riding through the woods. There's no howling or no horns this time. It seems that you have struck a blow and the orcs seem to be less omnipresent than previously. After a couple of hours of just exhausted moving, I can imagine many of you like falling asleep in the saddle as you like move through the woods. You can come to where Henathanan is, and with a code of whistles and clicks, you'll be able to be welcomed into the place once more. Yeah, and you can get a little bit of a rest here. Thorondir, who's the captain, would come to speak with you, anyone who is still conscious or awake.
Beragond will report to Thorondir what happened.
Did Elwen come with us? Because she could have got us through all of that fairly trivially.
Yeah. That's why it was so easy. Led you into the place.
While Beragond gives orders, gives the briefing, I'm just going to spend some time breathing very heavily on the ground somewhere, trying to get some rest. Probably with Elwen nearby, would be my preference. I understand if she's busy.
And I play up the bravery of Nar and of Cineric, and play down the bravery of Faroth a little bit. And don't really mention I tell them about the Black Numenorean, but I mention in passing that he had a sword, that he was fighting us with a sword and that it was injured. It laid this blow on Cineric and Nar, but I don't say what happened to the sword.
Yeah, he would be obviously pleased to hear what had happened to some extent. And he says, we'll do what we can to capitalize on this. This is the blow. We'll send our warriors in to clear the place.
We are also considering our routes. The Northerner thinks we need to get him to, rather than rely on Gondor's healers, the Northerner thinks we should get him to the elves, which may be true. Can you think these are the routes we've planned? And I'll scout out, tell him of the two routes and see if he's got any opinion on it.
Yeah, I think he would he'd be poring over a map that he has, and he'd be looking, and he would say, if you're looking for speed, then this side of the river is quickest, but it's not safe. Dead marshes are extremely dangerous. Your route seems to make sense.
The Dead Marshes have a foul name. What do you know about them?
A great battle was fought there at the end of the Second Age. Many a last alliance of men and elves fell there, fled, and many of the bodies were buried further away, but since then the marshes have spread their foulness and have absorbed many of the grave markers, and it's a dangerous place, a magical place.
And whilst he's saying this, Beragond is thinking over some of the treasures of Numenor that were lost in that battle that are probably lying there somewhere in those marshes, and he's going over. It is the most direct route.
I've never heard of anybody crossing through alive, however.
Especially on horseback.
I have never heard of anyone getting from here to the woodland realm in a short number of days. If we want to achieve the impossible, we need to take impossible risks.
I can show you the way.
I can sense that I can sense that I can understand that you would want to go through lands you know, but maybe it's time to take a risk for the life of our companions.
It seems futile leading horses through marshland. Even if they do manage to stay afloat and not get stuck in the mires, they will be spooked of the magic there, and so will we.
Have you not seen Sinric's horse? It will not get spooked.
There are secret ways.
Perhaps that steed would do well, but we all do not have that steed. But I leave the decision to you. But we must make it soon.
I vote for the dead marches. The faster and the swifter. We are trying an impossible ride. If we need to lead the horses a few days through marshes, then so be it. If it saves us time, we should do it. We have faced impossible odds before, and we have triumphed. I don't think the name should put us off. I don't think the dark reputation should put us off. We are men of Gondor. You're a descendant of Anarion.
Yes.
If we want to strike a blow against the dark, we should take the bravest route.
Your words have merit, Baragond. Very well.
Part of me thinks this is mad. You are right, though, that we will cut a lot of time off. The marshes.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Let's go!
Well, of course, I wasn't going to say no, really. I mean, come on.
No, but he's right. He is right in his way, and to be honest, it is cool. So
Not often I've seen someone drive a wedge between party members and things so expertly that I want to punch them, but
the only thing Farrell would have noticed is that Baragond has taken to calling him the Northerner.
Yeah.
Or they were on first name terms, but Farrell, obviously in a stressful situation, isn't taking it to heed too much. So yeah. Yeah, okay. Dead marshes it is.
All right, you guys can get a short rest in here in or a long one if you want, but it's up to you.
I think we like Kai's was saying, we rest when the horses get tired. We'll take a short rest now. Yeah. I roll my hit die. Oh yes.
are you
Thank
doing
you.
the one hit die per hour thing, or is it? Can we roll as many as we want?
1 per hour.
Oh, really? Okay.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 10, so I'm really happy.
Oh.
I'll just get by on that, I think. Lovely.
How much? Before your healing, does that come back on a short rest or a long rest, or have you used it all for the day? Could you have healed before you rested?
Good point. Let me just check the book. I haven't written that specific down, which makes me wonder if it's per adventure phase or something like that.
I don't think it's that long.
Or it could just be an action. Let's have a look. Where is it? 60.
Okay, I think while you check that, we might just have our first quick break. I'm going to run to the bathroom, and if you guys want to grab something to drink, you can.
Sure thing. Okay, cool. Awesome.
You may spend 1 healing die per action, instantly granting the hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom.
Yeah, so 1 per action.
If you spend 10 minutes binding the wounds, you get 1d8 multiplied by your proficiency modifier, so times 3, and then you add your wisdom. You can spend a healing die to cure a disease, a poison, a condition. I don't think you can do you can't do exhaustion yet. Would be hella useful. No. When do you get the replenishes when you take a short rest? So you could spend all of your health healing die before we short rest now, unless
that's true.
Unless he has more rulings for that. I don't know how many healing die you have. Is it one of your?
Well, I have
wisdom die.
Well, maximum is 5. Although I had 3 when we started the session. I've just spent another 1.
Sure, but you should, unless he's going to limit you in how many you get back from this one short rest, you should spend them all, and get us topped off. And also, if you can spend 10 minutes doing it, it's whatever you roll times 3. So.
And I'm just giving it a read.
Are you taking the scholar or the healer?
It was the healer.
When you take the healer, your 1d8 healing dice become 2d8 healing dice.
Yes.
So
that bit I remembered, and I did that with Faroth.
Okay. Yeah, it was quite a lot of healing. So you could get 2d8 times 3 plus your wisdom mod for your remaining dice. It'd take roughly half an hour, and then we short rest on top.
Jeez. What's your HP like at the moment?
It was 8. It is now 15.
So you're actually doing better than me, technically.
Oh, by the way, I think you can use them on yourself as well.
Yes, I can.
So spend whatever you want, wherever you want it. I'm not much use in a fight because I'm still at massively disadvantageous to do anything. So please do value your own life before mine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might tend to myself then for 10 minutes.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so I got that to 7. 21 plus 3, 24. Awesome.
Remember, is it 7 from 2d8? Or did you?
That's a point. Like, it doesn't...
What? Each one of your 1d8s is now 2d8 because you're a healer, so you can't...
Yeah, but that only works, though, with, like, Hands of the Healer. Oh, but that is Hands of the Healer.
It is Hands of the Healer.
Oh, that's crazy.
You've become the healer class, so your healing gets significantly better.
Gosh, okay.
Also, did you choose a discovery from the healing laws when you got level 3?
Well, I chose weapon of the enemy.
Okay, cool.
Hence why I can like help you somewhat.
That's nice. Thank you. It came at a necessary.
I thought after all those abilities I'd missed over the past few sessions, that was the least I could do.
And you've gained Shadow Law as well. So now
yes, I have.
All of us have Shadow Law. Only you're smart, and unlike us.
The only thing is that it does specify that it's only one creature. When it says if it said you tend the creature for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So basically, only one of my dice out of the 2 has already got me up to maximum hit points. Just from spending 10 minutes.
Right. So you have another 2d8 healing dice to use.
Yeah.
And you can give it to someone else. ×3. Plus whiz. But we may have need of this kind of healing, considering the poor state we get ourselves into.
The doctor is in 50 cents.
I was the healer in that other game I talked about, and it comes in very handy. And this is like the only source of healing in the game apart from resting.
Really well.
They're quite sought after.
Yeah, I figure since you guys have a healer, I might as well make it really worthwhile having a healer, you know? So make the natural healing more difficult, then it like really hammers home how big a deal having a healer is.
So I don't know, maybe give that other healing to Faroth or someone. He's pretty low
Alright.
as well. You can always get me on the next go round.
Rob, how much HP have you got?
Let me check. I rolled a 10, so that gives me 23 now.
Out of?
41.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I could spend the last 2 on you.
Are you sure?
Well, that makes sense, right? Because if you get in a fight, Syrian's going to be...
Yeah.
Incinerate is going to be useless anyway.
That was my argument. So it's much more offensive when you say it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great then. In that case, if I'm going to be taking the brunt.
Right, so let me just get this right, because I just can't get over how crazily like powerful this is. So I've still got 2 hit die left, so I can have 2d8 for each of those hit die, times by 3, add the wisdom.
Yeah, it takes you 10 minutes as a ritual.
Yeah, but we're essentially resting for an hour.
Great, in that case, fantastic.
That's really good. It means that when you get a rest, you'll actually basically get a proper rest. Like you'll get the hit points of a proper rest most of the time, even though you only get 10 hit points usually per hit.
First one is 30 HP.
Say that again.
30.
Whoa.
I got 27, and then plus 3.
I'm at full.
So in that case, I might just save the last one.
Yeah.
All right.
Healer.
So you guys get some much needed rest in at the halls of Penathanen, and by mid morning, I guess you're ready to go.
After a good breakfast.
Sausages, tomatoes, and some nice crispy bacon.
Would I be able to resupply and fill up my arrows?
Yeah, definitely. Arrows, not a problem.
Sweet.
I'll do the same then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Now, they can't spare you bonus horses. They don't have enough to give you extra horses on top of the ones you already have. But they're willing to let you take the horses you have.
That's very nice. Great. I'm set. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so you set out from Penathanen.
I just have one last word. It might be the last time I ever see Elwen. So I don't know if she's been busy or...
No, she would have been with you the whole time.
Right.
Like I imagine that you're like sleeping, or if not, like just in a sort of daze, and she would have been like cradling your head.
I don't know if I will see you again. I don't know if I'll make it back from this. But you know I will try.
You've proven very difficult to kill, Rick.
He gets like a deep throaty laugh that like probably coughs up some black sludge or something within him. It's true. I've taken the worst of it so far, but even in all the tales of the Rohirrim, a ride like this, especially with non-horse lords, it's going to be mythical. So
I believe you'll make it.
well, maybe you'll hear the stories come south before I do again.
Tell me what the halls of Thrandur will look like when you come back. I always wanted to see them.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure to see you again. Maybe I will return with a different name. No longer be Cynric the Mourner. Maybe they'll give me a different one. And I kind of, one weak hand kind of clasps the side of her face as I smile up at her.
Whilst this talk's going on, it's just slightly broken or irritated by Beregond, who's tapping on bits of stonework with the pommel of his dagger, listening for hollow sounds in the stonework.
Well, if he's doing that, I'll have possibly noticed. And when I clasp the side of her face, I sort of drag her in slightly. People might think it's for a kiss or something, but I whisper just slightly to her ear, I might not return with him.
She laughs and she gives you a kiss on the forehead and she says, come back.
I shall. And then I kind of like roll over onto like my feet. I'll try my best and like stagger to the horse to see our own. Come on, girl. It's our time to show everyone in the Rohirrim, everyone in Gondor what we can do. Are you up for it? And I like put my forehead against hers.
Yeah. She snorts and like shakes her head a little bit, paws at the ground.
And then I mount up.
And with that, you can begin, all of you, thundering from Henethanen as quickly as you can northwards. You're going to have to go through the rest of this forest and then into the dead marshes. As you are thundering, perhaps an hour goes by. You've had to slow a little bit. You can't be galloping for that amount of speed. You haven't seen this part of Ithilien yet. It's much less thickly forested, and already there's sort of a nastier smell in the air, not as fresh, not of woodland, but of marsh. You can kind of smell it from quite a distance away. There's much less cover, and you can see kind of like rolling hills and stuff with bushes and the like. Can each of you make a perception check, please?
If we're in the wilderness, I think we get advantage. Me and Faroth.
Yeah.
Aye.
And I realise I have disadvantage, so that would have been the straight roll of 13 plus. That's 18.
Nice.
It's not a.
That is
expertise.
22 for me.
11.
So it's a 22 or an 18. You can hear.
24.
Oh, nice. You can hear as well then.
Elf eyes.
You can hear with the a sort of shiver runs up your spine as you hear a somewhere in the distance behind you. You don't know if it's related to you, but you can just hear that awful sound of a horn blowing, and you begin riding even quicker. Some more hours of travel will go by, and it's exhausting. It begins to kind of, there's like a light sleet that begins to fall here in this miserable land until you kind of crest a hill, and you can see before you laid out this enormous swamp stretches just infinitely from what you can tell dotted all around with like little ponds. Occasionally you'll see like a couple of trees, mangrove and the like, but it just goes on forever. From what you can see, these are the dead marshes. If somebody wants to make a lore check or a history check, I'm not sure which, or either or both, you can see what you know about this place.
Yeah, okay, I'm definitely gonna do lore, so I can use my news from afar to add +5 to it.
I get 16 for lore, and in addition, I have the feature Lore of the Lost. When I enter a new area, or a new region or things, I know a few tidbits of information about it.
27.
Wow.
That's with the added bonus on top, and I can do that
Right.
once per adventuring phase.
So, Syrian, you know that the dead marshes, as I had said to Beragond, a battle happened here in the Second Age, and men and elves were fleeing an attack, and many of them were left here, drowned, dead. And since those that got away, kind of once they got out of the marshes, they buried their dead there. But the marshes have since expanded quite a bit, and now they cover those graves as well. So it's basically a graveyard underneath these marshes. You know that there's supposedly evil spirits that hang here, and lights that lead travelers astray, lure them into puddles and the like, ponds. Baragon, with your little bit of extra knowledge, you would know that a king of Gondor once fell in this dread place. Ondoher is his name. He fell fighting Wayne. What are they called?
Wayne Riders.
Yes, the Wayne Riders from the east.
What was his name?
Ondoher. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, he and his honor guard were killed here by Wayne Riders. That's the little bit of extra you know. Syrian, that it's extremely dangerous, not because there's enemies, but just because the place has a tendency to get people lost, lead them astray, things like that.
I'm obviously worried at this point, but I'm going to keep that to myself for now.
While other people's eyes are sort of scanning the horizon and things, I'm always looking down into the marshes, looking for any sort of glints of treasure or anything like that. But I'm also looking out at Cineric, and I do want this to be successful. I'm not just after money.
You could make me or just roll me a d6, Caius, if you don't mind.
D6.
4.
Just Caius, because he says he's looking
Right,
for glints. Okay. Yes. So the dead marshes are a cruel place, and everywhere that you look, you find, as you look below, you can see like bones, just like floating deep beneath in the murky water. Everywhere you look, there seems to be darkness. As you are picking your way through the damp, maybe an hour and a half through, you have to dismount and lead the horses. I think Cineric, you could probably lead your horse while on it, but I think the rest of you aren't skilled enough. And it's at this stage, Baragon, that you would feel a grip on your ankle. And looking down, you would see that there is a man just like desperately clinging to you, and he's like reaching out, looking for help.
I go, ah! And lash out at it with my short sword.
Yeah, and it goes right through. There's nothing there. Just a fright, just an illusion, it seems.
Is your
I
friend
turn to my
well?
companions. Be careful. This place plays tricks on your mind.
Faroth looks at Baragon, very, very much reminded of a similar scream that Baragon let out in the mines. But he bites his tongue and he looks across the marshes and he sees just that sea of the marshes and the fires that are flickering here and there, and those lights, and decides he's not going to say anything.
Can you? I don't need from the group a survival check, a perception check, a nature check, a history check. You need to succeed on 3 of those.
Oh Jesus! Say them again.
I can't remember all this.
Survival, perception, history, and nature.
Okay.
So you decide between you who rolls what.
Oh, between us. Okay. All right.
Oh, I bags history.
I'll do survival if that's okay.
I
Oh,
would really
perception.
recommend you do whatever is good for you, and I take whatever is the worst, because I will fail it.
Absolutely.
Well, which is better for you, man? Because I can do either perception or survival and generally be okay.
I'm on a disadvantage to do anything, so
I'll take survival then, considering the terrain.
you guys just try and succeed.
Yeah, all right,
Why?
Here we go, survival.
You are more intelligent than me generally, and better read. I don't know. I've got some skill in history. I won't match yours, but I'm just on my basic intelligence, which isn't bad, but it won't be as good as yours for nature. I'm just wondering whether.
Well, to be fair,
Never mind. I'm metagaming.
Yeah.
You've claimed history. I'll go for nature.
yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, I've already rolled, but also I get a stonking bonus.
Yeah.
A stonking bonus.
Big
A
number.
stonking bonus, but I've already rolled, so I got 19 for history,
Nice.
and that was on a fairly
Nice.
average roll.
20 on survival, modified.
So I need
Don't let us
nature
down,
and-
man.
I get 17 on nature. I did all right.
Very good.
Dennis, do you want to do your perception?
I did.
Oh,
I got
you did,
25.
Right. So
Excellent.
what was the last thing for me to fail? I don't.
There was only 4
Oh,
that I
okay.
mentioned, and you
Good.
just on 3.
Good.
Mhm.
I trudge on, barely like oblivious to the world.
Yeah, you guys are making your way through, and you don't seem to be getting too lost. The place is frightening. It's you do see these lights on occasion, sort of wispy lights, and they give off a sort of warmth, and they're very welcoming. Faroth, you hear. Sorry, just one sec, Dennis. You can hear a singing, a welcoming song in Elvish, and there's this like warmth that comes over you for the first time since you've entered these marshes. And you can see there in the distance that he's standing there and he's playing a lute, and he's kind of submerged up to his waist, and he's welcoming you forward. And as you look, there's just a warmth comes over you and a comfort. Can you make me a wisdom save?
I can certainly try. And as he looks across, he just murmurs to himself, "Elf song. It has been too long since I've heard those fair tones." Wisdom, did you say?
Yes, sir.
That's good, because that's one of my good ones. Let's see. It is... it's all right. That's 16.
Okay, yeah. You begin to walk towards this elf. So welcoming, so warming. And he begins to step further into the water, and you go after him. You're up to
I
your
turned
knees.
to Callis. Did you hear Elf song? What's he saying? Sorry.
No, it's all good. Up to your knees now, and you're still going after him.
I'll go. I'll grab him and say, "Where are you going?"
The song, the fair song, I must reach it. It is pleasing to me.
You can see that beneath the surface of the water, there are elves singing, playing music, some sort of gathering. It looks so welcoming.
We seek the elves, do we not?
Yes, but not the ones dead in the water.
Remember, this place plays tricks on your mind.
When you hear Syrian say dead in the water, you can see that these elves, their eyes are black. There's no white, no kindness in their eyes. Their teeth, their gums are receded, as if they are dead. I need you to make another wisdom save, please.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, that's better. That's 20 modded.
Okay, nice. So you're drawn towards them, and then you kind of finally snap out of it, and you hear, the dead. And you take a step back, you splash back into the water, yeah, you don't take any of the negative stuff that would have happened. You splash back into the water away, and now that you look, there are no elves there. There's nothing. It's just a ripple in the water.
I sort of scramble and try and get my footing, try and get onto a higher bit of ground, and I look at my comrades who are probably staring at me like I'm insane, and I say, "Forgive me. There are things here. People from another place."
The marshes will do that too.
We are walking a dark path for our companions, but we must keep a grip.
The last I heard, we were going to go to care across the rivers. You chose this fate.
One we may yet regret, but we have no choice but to press on.
I can
The
still.
elf speaks truly.
Unfortunately, the marshes will do this to you.
What I was going to say before, now that we move on, given his condition, I will just keep a watchful eye on Cynric. I know that he is weakened and we're traveling in harsh conditions, so I will stay close to assist him as necessary.
Not a problem. Another hour or two will go by before Syrian. You hear all of a sudden this like keening scream, really, really loudly, and as you look, you can see that standing barely 100 feet away atop this hill, a man robed in black, holding a small sword. His right hand is empty. I need you to make a wisdom save, please.
Okay, not too bad. Oh yeah, I get proficiency. That's nice. 19.
Nice. You hear him say, "I am with you. I know where you are." But you're able to shake it apart before it becomes too intense, and as you kind of blink your eyes, it's gone as quickly as it appeared.
I just kind of swipe it away, almost like a fly, and just shout, "Get away! You're not with any of us."
Syrian, what did you see? What are you reacting to?
Tricks of the mind in this place. It is starting to take me as well. I will not dwell on it any further. We must keep moving.
Ha! I sort of laugh out at the echoing empty marshes. You will not be able to trick the mind of Syrian, I say defiantly.
I smile and nod, but inside I feel a little maybe.
So evening is falling. Do you want to continue traveling through the marshes at night? He says leadingly.
Do you want to march into certain death?
Can I call upon the "I know somewhere to stay" thing here, or is this too dangerous?
Yeah, I think
a resting place within Mule somewhere, which contains the dead marshes.
Yeah, I think that like you would probably know that there is like a relatively large island somewhere that's like pretty solid, with like some trees. I think that you would know of that. If you want to start moving that way, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I know somewhere to safely take a long rest. So I imagine I've been almost at the head of this thing, but barely aware of things, and I'm just kind of taking the lay of the land vaguely. And it sort of dawns on me that we are close to wherever this place is. My father used to take me through here years ago. We would rest a little way up ahead. I don't know, at half an hour. It is safe. At least we've never been attacked there. The wraiths struggle on dry land. And I sort of point weakly in a direction. You're probably fairly uncertain whether I'm telling the truth or not, or in a daze. Maybe I'm seeing something.
Faroth is going to look to Cynric and sort of murmur, "This is no place to bring a child." How is Cynric looking?
I have 15 hit points, whereas you guys are like on full, and I have 3 levels of exhaustion.
Wow.
I mean, like, how, like, just physically, like, what do you look like? Are you, like, pale? Like, are you shivering? What's going on? Like,
I imagine we're going through the slow process of the whole Frodo being hit by a Morgul blade, so I'm probably getting paler and shivering, and the eyes are sinking, and
the eyes are starting to turn a sort of pale blue. That's like the most noticeable symptoms, that his eyes are beginning to go milky and blue.
As we're here, we are adults young, as we're hearing, forged in terror, battle. We do not have long childhoods like Gondor or the rest. We must be men. We do not have that luxury.
Faroth chooses not to respond and bows his head beneath his hood and just keeps leading his steed through the mud.
Baragon doesn't choose not to respond, but then realizing he's arguing with a sort of semi-conscious man, he'll give it up beforehand.
Yeah, he wouldn't be responding to half of what you said.
Yeah, so you guys can find this little island, a little kind of hill. It's got some trees at the top, and it's the kind of most solid thing you've seen in quite some time. It's not as wet or as disgusting as the rest of this place. And you can sit down there for a rest if you want until morning.
So, healing.
So with a long rest, you can use as many hit dice as you like, I think is how it works, and you get them back at the end.
Yeah. All right, I'll definitely use the last one I've got at the moment on Cynric. I know, right? Okay, that is 24 hit points in total. You definitely feel invigorated by the medicine that I've given you.
I've felt that healthy in a long time. Oh.
As we begin kind of setting up our makeshift camp, I will say I only require a few hours rest, and then I can keep watch. Or the rest of you sleep if you wish.
I shall wait until you are rested, Callus, then I shall sleep. I would look on the sky a bit before I turn in.
Cynric probably slides mostly from Ciaro into whatever is softest and then doesn't really move. He might gasp a bit.
110 days I have journeyed all alone over dangerous leagues. An extra hour or two's watch will not depress me. I will take my turn.
Aye.
Okay, so I guess Callus will do first watch, since he's like, that's the hardest one, I would always think, because you don't get to rest when everyone else does.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So yeah, you get to the rest of you get to lie down. Do you want to light a fire?
Most loaded question.
Oh, famous last words.
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's my vote.
Yeah, I
If
think
I
so.
get more exhaustion, I'm just gone.
Yeah.
Really.
Plenty of fires around this place.
Yeah.
One more can't hurt.
It is incredibly damp.
Yeah, and then basically for my watch, I will stay outside of the ring of light in the shadows, trying
Gotcha.
to stay hidden while I watch over the others while they keep warm and sleep.
No problem.
I remember what happened last time we didn't light a fire.
All right. With the fire lit, your what goes by without incident, Callus, and then you can go wake whoever is next. Who is next?
I should be next because I've got good dark vision. I'm quite used to working in night and dark, so I'm not affected too much by the dark.
Yeah, so you can wake up Beragond, who takes the next watch. And again, nothing untoward happens. There's a few moments where you can kind of hear like a faint music, where you see like a light appear and blink away, but nothing that tests you. And then Faroth will be the last watch, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think Faroth. What's the sky looking like? Is it cloudy? Can I see any stars?
Yeah, I think it would be clear enough. You could see stars. Yeah, clear.
I think as this is, Faroth, we've now moved out of his known lands. So he kind of, what with the incident earlier with him walking into the swamp as well, he kind of feels more than a little bit insecure, and he's just looking at them, thinking how different the stars look from this end of the world.
Yeah, there's a noticeable difference, particularly from your home, which is so far away from here. There's nothing strange happens during your watch, but you do see a glint in the water. At one stage, a sort of metallic glint.
Yeah, well, Faroth looks. Is it far away? Is it?
It's just like at the shore of this island.
Faroth is going to cautiously lean over. Who would be the closest to him?
It's up to you guys. I think like if you're doing watch, you're outside the light of the fire.
Yeah.
So you're probably at least 20 feet away from the rest of them.
Okay, I'll just pick. I'll go to the elf. Got good eyes on him, and I sort of put a shoulder on his a hand on his shoulder, and say, "Callus."
My eyes will snap open as my hand goes down to the hilt of my blade as I look up
Be
to
a
you.
peace, friend. I do not mean to alarm you, but I felt I should speak with someone. Look there on the surface. Do you see it?
I will slip up and look over to where he's indicating.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. Something shiny.
What do you make of that?
How moving close to it, how deep is it?
Looks like maybe 3 or 4 feet down. Like the moonlight is glinting off it. You can see now that it looks to be a hilt of some kind.
Faroth turns and says, "Have your bow ready." And then turning, he will take cautious steps towards it.
Yeah, the
Because why
water.
not?
The water is icy cold as you step in, and you can approach this sword hilt. And you can. Are you going to reach down and grab it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So you plunge your hand in and you grab, and you can pull out through the muck. All this like muck and stuff comes up, and you can hold it, and you can feel that there is a sword here attached to this hilt. But as you try to get out of the water, you find yourself feeling quite heavy. I need you to make a wisdom save.
Oh, for God's sake. My magpie mind got the better of me.
You would really play these games with these wraiths.
that is exactly what I got the last time, which is a 16. So
Yeah, so the sword, you can see it now, like through the water almost, silvery and clean. It looks of ancient make, maybe elvish. It's quite curved. But as you try to pull out of the water, you find yourself being weighed down by it. It's heavy, but it is exceptional quality.
So what am I observing when you pick up the
Yeah,
blade?
you would see him go down there, and he pulls the sword out, and you can see as well it is of elven make. Fantastic silvery blade, and he's like waving it around under the water, and he looks like he's making no attempt to leave.
I don't suppose I have like any handy knowledge of like some legend of a blade hidden in the swamps or anything like that.
Nothing specific, no.
Yeah. So when I see that he's not, trying to remove himself from the water, I'll call his name softly. Farah, are you well?
do I hear him, Lloyd?
You hear Faroth, give me the sword.
Oh.
I think I turn and I look up at Catlix and says, but I claimed it.
I will, with my bow still ready and the arrow notched, I'll cock my head slightly and say, I have no wish for your blade.
Then why did you ask for it?
I will take some slow steps back and try to kick the person nearest me awake. So I don't know who that would be, if it's random or...
Yeah, it's let's say Syrian. So you would see now, waking up Syrian, that Faroth is like submerged in the water, and he's got this like silver sword in his hand, and he's like looking up out of it, like he's under the water. He's looking up out of it, and he's holding this blade. He's got a bit of an angry expression on his face.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
am
so
I
it's-
submerged? Am I completely submerged in the water now?
I was going to say
wow.
he'd be gurgling.
Oh, sorry, that's why I... Okay.
So basically, he's face up, but still submerged, and the sword is sort of sticking out.
Yeah, if you imagine, like it's the surface of the water is like half an inch away from his face.
Faroth, what are you doing?
We spotted something in the water. I'm afraid that there's now something wrong with him.
Why aren't you helping him? And I rush over and try and pull him out.
What?
You see Syrian grab for the sword.
Do I? Never mind.
It's just going to be it's going to be Cynric and Baragond waking up in the morning and the only one's left.
They're just gone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
Buddy cop movie from then on
I'm going to
out.
need you to make me another wisdom save, please, Farah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I've rolled a 19 on the die. That's 24.
So as you see Syrian come down and like grab for the sword, as he grabs your wrist to like lift you up, your immediate impulse is to just like hack and slice away. But then kind of the vision clears and you like pull your head above the water and take some air in, and you realize that he's trying to help you. And you can get pulled out.
And gasping and spluttering, I'm just like grabbing onto them because I literally have no idea what happened. Like the last proper memory I have of it was just feeling threatened by the elf.
Once you're out, those feelings kind of vanish. You will gain a point of shadow.
Yeah.
But the feelings do vanish, and you are holding an elven blade, a short sword of incredible make, very, very light, kind of beautifully curved, and somehow incredibly silvery and clean. Like there's no rust, no nothing like that. It's just as if it was brand new.
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, still pointing the arrow at you with the string drawn back, I will say, "Are you well, my friend?"
Farrell sort of just looks down, just soaked, utterly soaked, taking deep breaths, just looking at this blade, and then he sort of looks up at the elf, and he manages a weak smile, and he says, I am now." And he looks to Syrian and says, "Thank you. I do not know what is happening to me, this place. It is affecting me."
You were a fool to go for that sword, even though it looks so valuable. Get by the fire and stay there.
Farrell doesn't argue. He sort of just nods. And as he walks to the fire, Lloyd, is there any kind of markings in Elvish or anything on this sword at all to might portray a name, perhaps? Or
Certainly, you can give me an investigation check.
I will certainly try. That is... that is 15.
There is something written on it. An inscription along the thick end of the blade, reading about how the light of the sun is the greatest weapon that we have in the face of the enemy. And looking at it, investigating it, you get the there's no name necessarily, but you can tell its purpose. It's a troll-bane weapon. It hates trolls and they fear it.
Wow.
You'll have to do some research and stuff to discover the name and the history. Maybe Thranduil will know. But
Yeah,
for
sure.
now, definitely a troll-bane weapon.
Wicked. Yeah, and Farrell is just going to sit by the fire and just spend the rest just staring at the sword and just sort of, yeah, a little concerned that he went through that ordeal for it, however.
And Beragon sleeps through all this, muttering the names of various treasures that he wants to find.
Oh, that's going to get interesting.
Yep. The rest of the evening will pass without too much more incident, and you can awake at the first light of dawn.
I think Cineric wakes up coughing, and he's just getting worse and worse. And I'm sure he probably wakes some people up. I imagine the elf is already up, but it is a rude awakening.
I'll help him sit up and give him some water from the skin.
He will accept it, and you might see some more black having stretched across him. How
Do we
many
have
days?
any-
Sorry?
No, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, how many days has it been? Did we ride through night or anything, or has it just been one day so far?
It's been a day, so you left in the morning and you rode
Okay.
until nightfall.
I'll mark that off.
I spent a few minutes cleaning your wound, but the Ephesus is still working nicely.
Anyone who wasn't already awake is going to be awakened by the screams.
Beragon wakes to the screams. And splashes some water on his face and just looks miserable.
We should have breakfast. I just take a glance at Farroth, actually. See if he's all right from last night's events.
Am I, Lloyd?
Yeah, beyond the shadow point. Other than that, you're fine. You're probably a bit knackered, like you were cold then for the rest of the evening, basically, having been wet. But other than that, you're fine.
Yeah, I look and I sort of hear the first thing I hear is obviously this spluttering cough, which brings me back into the land of the living, and and then sort of go about helping just prepare the breakfast, really. Sort of trying to ignore the sort of tense, moody atmosphere.
So the next day, exhaustion is setting in. You're finding it more difficult to navigate through the endless marshes. And maybe by lunchtime, you start to think you might be going the wrong direction. It's hard to tell. It's like overcast. You can't see the sun. And there's no landmarks. It's all just endless, trackless waste. But Beregond, you have an urge, an understanding of where you need to go. A voice will tell you which way to go, which is the quickest way, the safe paths.
I don't think I'll contradict the rangers, but if they seem in doubt, I'll sort of suggest.
Yeah, every time you make a suggestion, it's effective. It works. There's never any surprise hindrances or anything along the way. Every time you suggest the path, it works incredibly well, and it's quicker. You make great time on those paths. Yeah, and another long day goes by as you move through these marches. Are you going to rest at night again?
Did I lose a point of exhaustion, by the way, for the?
Yes, you would have. Yeah.
Right. Have we? I don't know if there's anything that we really want to consume that grows here, but like, are there any herbs, for instance, for our healer or elf to spot? Or
it's particularly barren. I think you'd be eating things you had brought. There's no game to be hunted. There seems to be no animals at all, really.
Right. I did actually make sure I looked and we had enough rations for this trip. So before we left.
Yeah, I can assume you guys wouldn't head out on a huge journey without stocking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your characters wouldn't.
Yes, that's a very important difference there. Because I was like, oh god, we're going to starve.
The sooner we leave these marshes, the better. But our mission is to escort a patient to the halls of the elves, and so I think it should be the healer who takes the call on whether we rest or press on.
I saw that look in Faroth's eyes when I retrieved him from the waters. The darkness holds a lot more fears than the daytime. I suggest we rest.
Did you fall in the water, Faroth?
Alas, Beregond, I did not fall. I went in seemingly of my own accord, yet I fear that there is a power, a force that beckoned me there.
There are.
Still,
this place does play tricks on weak minds. On my.
Faroth shoots Beregond a glance, and he says, "What troubles you, Beregond, other than the obvious? You do not seem yourself."
Sorry, my apologies. My mind has been taken in by the illusions here. All minds, except maybe the minds of an elf, are assailed here.
He undermines you at every turn.
I believe
There's
it.
nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say, I believe it was a blade that called to him, not this place.
Yeah, Farrell says, "There's nothing to forgive, Beregond. In fact, it was this," and he sort of flings his cloak back and sees that Farrell has sort of put this blade into his belt, and he shows him that he's got an extra short sword now.
And Beregond, recognizing the excellent workmanship, sort of goes down on one knee and just examines it, and just says, then stands up saying, "Oh, such a precious thing."
And there are many more like it, I'm sure, in these waters.
Not that I would advise going looking for them.
Absolutely not.
But that fishing trip seemed to have brought in a good catch.
Nearly caught my life, Berigond.
We are here for Cynric, not for fishing.
Yes,
We must push on.
indeed. And I said then sort of look to Syrian and keep my voice low so as it won't reach the ears of Cynric. And I say, what do you make of his condition? Do you really feel that resting, lingering? Do you think we'll run out of time?
If you were attracted into the water by a single sword, what will happen if we are traveling at night?
I let my guard down twice. It will not happen a third time. But what you say goes.
You are right, though, about the fact we are running out of time. Prove me wrong, Fareth.
I will endeavour to do so.
All right, we will travel tonight. But if we can rest the night after, then we shall.
No problem. You can push on through the night, and are occasionally led astray by lights. But always, Berigond seems to know the way, and always his advice proves true. And pushing on through the night, as dawn comes, you can see an end. You can see solid land ahead of you, sharp rocks, and labyrinthine caverns of Emmenwheel up ahead.
Somehow I fear I will miss the dampness in my shoes.
Yes, you'll trade them for sharp rocks in them.
Each step we take is a step closer to Mirkwood and the Elven halls.
You have done very
Don't get
well
damp
to
feet
navigate
now.
us through, Berigond. But do you know the way through Emmenwheel as well? It has been astonishing just how quickly we have gone through. I must owe you an apology.
All paths are known to me.
I have some. My family had some. Have wandered far and wide. The men of Gondor stretch far north, and I have studied the paths. And though my brain didn't always take it in, it seems to be coming to the surface now. Little remembered facts from things I read in the past, and there are ways through these. There are routes and ways through these lands. I have never been here before, but I have studied old maps, and I think this is what is helping us in our goodly quest.
Do you know how long it will take to get through Emmenwheel?
Follow me, and it will take 2 days.
Maybe 2 days.
That is pleasing to hear.
If the maps proved correct. They were very
Well,
old maps.
The day is young.
Faros takes cheer in the fact that, although admittedly surrounded by sharp rocks, at least be on solid land, and thus it will mean they'll be able to mount up again on horses. So,
Absolutely.
Yarp.
You can make good time through Emmenwheel, although resting you find impossible. The ground is too rough. No matter where you look, there's nowhere that's flat. Everything is sharp. You try to make beds with your bedrolls, but the rocks cut through the fabric. There's no rest to be found here, and no matter how hard you try. Although you might be able to get a few winks on horseback, maybe. there's no rest to be found here.
Two days, we push on with no rest, and when we get out, we rest.
Yeah, that's what you're forced to do. There's no rest to be found. You'll each gain a level of exhaustion as you're totally unable to get any sleep or real rest, meaningful rest, pushing through Emyn Muil. But as Baragon says, 2 days it takes to get through this labyrinth. And not once do you get lost through Baragon's guiding. You never find yourself doubling back, although you've heard tales of Emyn Muil, and that's the real danger. It's a labyrinth. It's impossible to find your way through. And nonetheless, you find your way through without any issue.
I've got a feature which I can ignore the first level of exhaustion that I gain. Can I ignore this one? And
yes.
Good.
Then, as you exit Emyn Muil, you enter into the Brownlands. Long, formless slopes with a withered look, without even trees or grass, just endless moors, brown wasteland as far as the eye can see. You're beginning to run low on food. There's been nothing in Emyn Muil, nothing in the Dead Marshes, and here it looks just as grim. I can have, or could have, one of you guys, Rangers, make a survival check with disadvantage to try and find something to eat.
I practically fall onto the moorland because of how much softer it is. Even though it stinks.
I'll certainly give a survival a go. Disadvantage, did you say, Lloyd?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
can I? I'll give you inspiration. No, I will. Yes, I'll give you inspiration. You can.
Great.
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's 18.
All right. So with an 18, Faroth goes ranging a little bit, and he can find, after hours of searching, hunger rumbling in your belly, you can see a pheasant on its own, just in this trackless wasteland, and you like creep ever so slowly, fire an arrow, and you'll have to share that between all of you. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. Although
Definitely.
hunger is definitely beginning to set in.
Yeah, Faroth plucks this thing like within minutes, just ripping its feathers off it and sticking it onto the fire. So hungry is he, and is able to carve up a piece for each member of our company.
Syrian, who did look to be getting better after like 3 days with no sleep, is looking a lot worse. As worse as when he was stabbed.
Is the Athalas being applied? Yeah. I think you probably have one more application, but that's probably it.
Have we been using it on Nar as well?
That's a good point. You have no more Athalas.
Oh, sorry. I'm sure.
No, that's good, because I would have forgotten, and you would have had to use it on Nar as well.
Oh man.
Oh, Jesus.
But if we hadn't, sort of now would have been dead, and you know.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Doomsday clock just ticks ever closer to midnight.
It kind of feels like it just sped up a bit.
Yeah.
Just
And then it would have been 2 days since the last long rest, which would have been when you would put the last Athalas on. So then at this stage, yeah, they're beginning to look a lot worse. The eyes are... Go ahead, guys.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Just a question: does Athalas grow in these lands?
No, it's really a forest sort of thing. It seems nothing grows in the lands. There's not even grass. It's just like dirt. So this is particularly barren.
God.
We're running out of time.
Do we have any bearings, Lloyd? Like, is there any way that anything we could do to sort of work out how long we have left? Obviously, we're still miles away from Mirkwood.
Yeah, you think this is the longest stretch. These Brownlands are pretty enormous, and you think 4 days maybe of continuous riding through these lands to get you to the base of Mirkwood.
Take heart, Cynric. Take heart, Nar. We have passed through the dead marshes. We have passed through Emin Mul, two of the most notorious areas in all of Middle Earth, and we have passed through swiftly and with relatively little danger. I hope I do not speak too soon when I say I'm beginning to have a feeling that this journey is blessed.
The wheezing is back at this point. Are we to get? Do we think is it another point of exhaustion per 2 days of no sleep, or is it every day of no sleep from this point?
Every day of no sleep.
Right.
We should rest.
Yep. And the horses need to rest.
Sleep.
Yeah, I have 3 levels of exhaustion, so I can't go 3 days, otherwise I die, and I have 8 days left.
Are Silurican able to at least eat, or is it, I don't know? Like, are they able to? Are we able to feed them?
Yeah, you'll need to feed them. I think at this stage they're barely able to look after themselves.
Oh my god!
And it's getting trickier to find food as well.
Yeah. I just go ahead.
Okay, I was just suggesting my horribly weakened state. Like, we could try the coast of the Anduin instead of going directly. At least there might be food.
I did think that too. It might delay us though, but I am tempted by it.
Without food and sleep, I won't make it. I won't make it to the edge of the Mirkwood.
And we must ride to Anduin.
Okay, so you're going to change the route and head towards the Anduin?
I wouldn't say directly across, but maybe I'm thinking maybe trying diagonally. I don't know exactly if we're in the lower end of the Brownlands, like if we were to head that sort of north, like westish, like we should
Northwest, yeah.
northwest, kind of like catch up with the Anduin somewhere along that. Maybe if it's 4 days to the northern Mirkwood, we might have like a day or two, and we'd get to the bank and maybe more fertile lands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just took a look at the map, and you're right. The Brownlands is just massive.
Yeah,
that's just nuts.
Massive and like trackless. There's like nothing there, just
nothing
like
at all. Oh
yeah. Okay. So you can change your route and start heading westwards towards the Anduin. I think at this stage I'll need another survival check if you want to eat. Otherwise, you'll each get a level of exhaustion.
God, all right.
Disadvantage.
Okay,
Yes,
here we go. That's not so bad. I rolled a 15 and a 16, so 15 plus, so that's actually 20.
Yeah. You can find a single stringy rabbit that you can butcher and share between you. It's not much, but it's enough to stop your stomach from making you throw up. Yeah, and you can begin or continue heading westwards towards the Anduin. Are you going to rest?
It's not directly west. Just to point that out.
Yeah, northwest.
Yeah.
Northwest.
We might have to rest at this point.
Yes, I agree. I think we have to rest. We need to eat. We need to make sure that we don't deteriorate beyond this point, I think.
I'm already too far gone for being able to help, so you guys just need to make sure you can make checks and survive.
In that case, yeah, I say rest, eat all the stringy rabbit I'm able to provide. We'll make it just stew. We'll boil out some water. It'll be better.
Get some potatoes.
Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew.
At this stage, you'd probably kill an innocent man for a potato.
Probably.
The hunger set in majorly, and you can continue northwest until 2 long days later. That seems to stretch for eternity. You can finally hear the rush of the Anduin And as you crest the hill, you can see down below the river itself, and you can see that here. Finally, at the bank of the river, there is some greenery and the river itself.
I actually rush in, like fully robed, into a shallow part and just fall in sheer bliss. Then sort of stand up and drink some of the fresh water.
Yeah, it is sweet, it is delicious, it is cold, and it goes a long way to making you feel less hungry, at least for a little bit.
And Beregond hunts for ducks along the side of the river.
Yeah, between you, you can fish, you can get duck, you can get some food at the very least.
Have we slept both of those 2 days, or have we blitzed both of those 2 days? Like, what
I assume blitz.
Right.
I assumed. I thought you were just legging it.
But we had one sleep and then we
Yes.
blitzed it.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Right. So that went down to 2, and then it went back up to 3 again.
Exactly.
We blitzed 2 to...
So your exhaustion would be the same.
Yes.
But you are now at the Andu Win, and food won't be a problem anymore. From what you can tell, it's a bountiful river, fish galore. Okay, and now you need
I'll be feeding Faroth the finest Gondor recipes, showing how we prepare duck down in Gondor.
Faroth will gladly indulge in this. It's nice to have some food in his belly, but he makes sure that he gets a little extra, and he's I'm going to say he's able to like get some salt on them so they can be preserved for the journey ahead as well.
Yep.
no problem.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, so you get to the Andu and you get to eat, and then you continue to head north. Now, do you want to get into Mirkwood as quickly as possible, or do you want to skirt along the western side of Mirkwood and then go in from the top? Because
6 days.
I think Faroth is going to look to Callus and say, Callus, my elven friend, what would you advise? Straight into your homeland, or skirt around until we get closer to an area you're most familiar with?
The sooner we enter, the more likely the chance that we can find some of my kin.
I think at this point, like the black veins have like reached up to almost his chest, and like they pulse with his heartbeat.
And I'm not sure how much more time your companion has. I would suggest heading straight in.
I mean, Mirkwood is enormous, and if you think about it, it's maybe 400 miles from top to bottom. It's simply the biggest forest in the earth. Huge. You don't know if it's quicker to go by horse on the outside or through Mirkwood itself, but you're going to go through Mirkwood?
Yeah.
I'll happily take the elf's advice in this regard. This is his home.
I'm leading it to the elf.
All right, not a problem. You guys can get to the edge of Mirkwood, and unlike many other forests, it doesn't have a sort of gradual appearance of the forest. It's just suddenly there's a forest, almost like a borderline. Just all of a sudden there's thick trees, and menacing, huge trees. It's dark in there, dark as night from what you can see out here. You've heard tales of the Mirkwood, once called the Greenwood, but since the arrival of something called the Necromancer, and the castle of Dol Guldur has been rebuilt, a shadow has fallen over it.
Have we blitzed those 2 days? Getting to the edge of Mirkwood? I only ask because my life is on the line in this information, so I have to be precise. Has it taken us 2 days to get from here to Mirkwood, or less? Or
It's taken you from where you were. Yeah, 2 days to get to Mirkwood. You can rest in between, or you can not. It's up to you guys.
How many days is it?
If it's 2 days to have gotten to Mirkwood, then that's 4 days left.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe we can find Athalas in Mirkwood. It grows in forests. That's why we should go in.
If
Yes.
we blitzed it, I'm up to 4 levels of exhaustion, which I think makes me immobile if I'm not.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
Your horse is fine though.
Mm-hmm.
presumably,
Or
I think
do we
have
need to blitz it?
I have 4 days.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Does the Athalas slow down the
Yeah, last
yes.
time I
slow
had
down
it,
the number of days?
it gave
So-
me 2 days extra when
Yeah.
we did it before
well.
we left.
If it has effect now, though, it might be too late.
Okay. I mean, this is not something Beregond has any idea about.
I think you see the black veins are coming up his neck now, and they pulse.
He just turns to Syrian and looks to Syrian for Syrian's opinion.
I give Beregond a look. I don't say anything, but it is a look of concern and uncertainty. And then he takes Cineric and puts him on his own horse.
All right.
I can't actually refuse that because I'm immobile. So
Indeed, yeah, you're going to be on my horse.
Oh my goodness.
Heading into Mirkwood, there's a real sense of dread. You've heard tales of giant spiders living here, and most frightening of all, the elves of Mirkwood. The kingdom of Thranduil. Thranduil is known as the most xenophobic of all elves. He doesn't tolerate people in his wood. He is notoriously selfish and cruel for an elf lord. And you're going to impose upon him and ask him to heal your friend.
Faroth looks to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
No, Faroth is just going to look to Callus and say, would there be any use shouting out the name of your lord? Pronouncing our arrival here?
Do you have an idea how likely it would be that they would have any kind of scouts or guard this far south?
No, you think it's unlikely. Like you're really...
Yeah.
Like Thranduil sees all of Mirkwood as his kingdom, but realistically it's really the top maybe quarter of it that he keeps a proper patrol on.
Yeah, I don't think it would do much good, and when the time comes that we in the area they're about, I have no doubt that they will know and find us.
So, Faroth, can you give me a survival check, or a nature check rather, to find some Athalas?
Yes, I certainly will give that a go.
No pressure.
It's his home.
Mm,
I have an inspiration, which I'm willing to give you because this may.
yeah, it's not great. That'd be a 12. So
Do you want the inspiration?
Inspiration.
I think I will. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Inspiration.
Oh no!
Oh,
That is a natural one.
Oh, wow.
So take the
So
12.
12 was my
12.
first roll, though. So
So you search for an hour in the morning for Athalas, and you don't find it anywhere. Every other weed you can think of is growing in abundance, but the one thing you're looking for, you cannot fucking find.
sorry.
And so a day goes by as you walk through Mirkwood.
can
Go ahead.
Beregond or anybody else look?
I'm going to say it's one search per day for the party.
Okay, fair enough.
So you go for that day, moving through Mirkwood quickly with Callus at your head. He shows you the ways, secret paths, avoiding nests of spiders, avoiding all the nastiness that dwells within. Do you rest?
Keep moving.
Looking at Cineric, I turn to Syrian. Can he press on with no rest, or do we need to rest?
I can take one more day without rest, and then I'm on death's door and cannot.
Oh my god.
And I'm on exhaustion level 5.
But I think we need that day to press on so we can have another chance of finding the medicine.
I agree. We need to find. Yeah, we need to find something to give us more time.
Okay, you push on.
Once more. Once
push
more.
on, push on one more time through the night.
Yeah, one more. Come on.
And the morning comes. Which of you would like to use a nature check to search for Athalas?
I can try again if you want. Who's got the best
I can
nature?
give you inspiration if you want.
Okay, hang on. Let me. Oh God. Okay. Right. Here we go. Inspirations. I'll just roll them. Two of them. Okay. Oh, okay. That
Maybe
is.
inspiration was useful there.
No, well, yeah, I've used it. I've used it. I rolled them both, and I've got. Okay, so the top one gives me
Ooh.
Gives you what?
14.
Oh, fuck off, Lloyd.
You search.
Are you kidding me?
Find no Athalas.
Oh my God!
You might have to split up
Well,
while I rest.
Yeah, if you guys want to, you can spend a day searching, and you can each make a check.
we need to find some. We need to find some.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my God! He's cursed.
So how does this work?
What?
Just we all make a roll?
You can each make a
Don't-
nature check.
I'm
And
guessing
don't,
mine's already spent, so I'm not going to touch a dice now.
I come
Natural
back
one.
with it.
Oh, wow.
Nothing.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, guys! Callus, can you save him?
Is 16 enough?
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Oh my God!
So the day goes by and you're searching, and like just the exhaustion is all over you, and you're just like stressed looking. And as evening falls, like Baragon, you come back empty-handed. Syrian, you come back empty-handed, and you sit around for a moment thinking it's done. And then, like light as a breeze, Callus appears with a fistful of Athalas that you can use to apply to Nar and to Cineric.
Farrell is going to look to the elf and just pat him on the back and just be like, "It is all the legends they say of your kind are true. Well done."
I got it the wrong way around. I had half hit points and then went immobilized.
All right.
I went down to immobilized. I went up to immobilized and down to half hit points while I slept while they found this for
Oh my
me.
God.
So I have like 2 days,
Yeah.
and now has that given me another 2 or?
Yeah. So the Athalas application will give you and Nar another 2 days.
Right.
So the next morning, you set out again, moving as quickly as you can through Mirkwood. You come across or towards the forest road that stretches all the way through, and you can see the mountains up ahead. And at the end of your second day, as you make camp and you prepare to rest as is necessary, all at once you are surrounded. From every tree, there are elves with bows strung. One of them, this very severe-looking female elf, with her hair done in braids, steps forward, and she looks around. Callus, why do you bring these people into our wood?
and I'm assuming it's probably not necessary, but as they begin to appear, I kind of lift a hand and down, towards my companions, not to, make any sudden moves or anything. And I will nod to her. She asks, and it says, I have urgent word for the king. My companions here assisted me on the journey and are in need of aid. I come from the mountain.
They have the taint of shadow on them. They should not be here.
Farrell looks to the female elf and says, "Everything in this place has the taint of shadow on here, surely."
I did not speak to you.
I will shoot him a glance and then turn back to her.
Know when to speak to your betters. She says, I'll take you to the king. Although he will be pleased with you, Callus, taking these people in here. Get up. We're moving.
So as we set about, I'll move over to Faroth and I'll lower my voice and say, I apologize for my kin, but I think you understand. Your presence here is one that will be troublesome.
I understand, Callus. I did not mean to be antagonistic. I fear for our friend.
I'll give a nod and assist anybody that needs so we can hurry up and be on our way.
Yeah, the elves move at a frenetic pace, running through the woods at a crazy pace that you find very difficult to match, even with your horses. They jump from tree branch to tree branch. They run with incredible speed, and it takes a lot out of you to get to where you need to go. But a full day goes by until finally you see a cavern. Beautiful elven architecture awaits you. And you're rushed inside, and you're just kept waiting for an hour, and then 2 hours, and then 3. Time keeps going until finally,
hour after hour.
finally, in this little antechamber that you're in, it is beautifully decorated with elven architecture. A little fountain with clean stream water running through it. Sweeping into the room, Thranduil, King of the Elves, simply the most beautiful man that you've ever seen, the most spectacular, the most elf-like elf that exists. Dreadful and terrible, but also beautiful. He wears a crown of holly, and he wears a long robe with a sword at his side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what is appropriate, but whatever it is, whether it's kneeling, bowing, saluting, or whatever it is, as soon as he appears, I will do so.
Yeah, I think for you it would be like a nod of the head, and he stands imperiously, like looking down, actually looking up, away from the rest of you.
If there's any kind of protocol for that kind of thing, I would have let them know ahead of time what to do when he appeared, so they would know and not be caught unawares.
Yeah, it would be kneeling.
So after doing that, I would immediately move and like assist Cineric, because I don't doubt that he can do so. And
yeah, do the rest of you kneel?
I'll watch the Northerner.
Yeah, actually, I also. But if other people start kneeling who are not elves, then I would do the same.
Faroth.
I'm not kneeling unless Faroth does first.
Well, Faroth looks to this this imperious elf looking down upon them on high, and he just sort of narrows his eyes. But regardless, Faroth takes a knee. He has respect for the elves.
Okay.
So if Faroth kneels first, then Beregond is satisfied, and he also goes down on a knee.
Love that you're doing a pissing contest while I'm dying. Like,
I know, that's why I'm like, I'm doing this for Cedric, man.
Thanks, Faroth.
So when you've all knelt for what is an uncomfortably long amount of time, like you would expect it would be like a quick kneel, but he like stands there basking in it for maybe 20 seconds, says nothing. You may rise. What takes you into my home unwelcome and uninvited?
bring dire news, and I will go to whoever has the helm and the sword that we retrieved and is wrapped, and hold my hands out for it.
Who do you go to? Do you say what you want?
While getting no response from anyone after a moment, I raised my brow and I said, I will need the items from the mine.
Then Beregond takes out a bundle wrapped in material and lifts it up and carries it forwards and puts it down on the floor and backs off.
Farroth looks utterly confused, looking from Callus and then to Baragon and says, "What is it you've brought here? What have you done?"
The mines.
Yeah, after it's placed there and he returns to his place, I assume it's before the king, and I will use my foot to kick it open to reveal him not wanting to touch them.
He actually takes a little step back and he puts his hand to his mouth, like so. A very effeminate gesture.
I will cover it back up as he steps back.
Darkness that you bring into my home. These are of Numenor.
Yes, as you're probably aware, I was on my way to the sea to answer the call when I heard of activity within the mountain. I came upon these companions and we entered and discovered many dark things, including one of their kind, which we managed to slay.
These dark relics are not of Numenor. They represent a taint, a bastardization of my line. And with that, he is staring at Baragon with fury in his eyes. Fury that he would bring these disgustingly dark creations with them all this time to the halls of the Elvenking.
But this is the legacy of Numenor, is it not? A fall from grace, a fall to the shadow.
Yes, Numenor has a dark history as well as a great one, but it fell in darkness, and you know that, Farroth. I said, and these are relics of that dark fall.
A dark fall that our friend will share if we do not get to the point. We will discuss this later. Your Grace, we are in dire need. Our
Majesty, he says.
Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, we are in dire need. Our friends have been struck by this Black Numenorean who bears the darkness in every strike. They fell to him. We humbly seek your aid.
I suppose you have taken down one of our enemies. I guess our causes are aligned. He's looking at his fingers. It is within my power to heal them.
Then will you not do it?
I think I will.
I can't help but breathe a huge sigh of relief, and just the sheer relief coming off me in quite high emotion.
It seems you have done some rudimentary healing. You were wise to seek out the king's foil. I can heal these. These artifacts will remain here with me, down to be locked in the vaults, never to be spoken of. You may rest here, and when your friends are recovered, we will discuss what happens next. We have laws here, in this realm, and you will obey them to the letter. Callus will inform you what they are. And then he sweeps his cloak and leaves the room. And that's where we'll end today's session, I think.
Nice.
That was
great.
just...
I just want to add real quick, as he's speaking, from my position, my gaze will be switching between Baragon and Farroth. As it seems, there seems to be something that's slowly been building since I've met them between these two. It's now become quite noticeable. some sort of hostility.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to anyone who watched, I hope you had a very good time. It was a nail biter, certainly.
Yes.
Thanks to all of my players. We have the Rogue DM, we have Wicked Zen, it's Dennis Kellogg, we've got Performance Check, Dan Barnes, and Caius of Galantry. Thank you for watching.